Earn Update 3, Electric Boogaloo. Valve just shipped another Deadlock patch, featuring more changes to the Soul Urn and the game's parry mechanics' possible interactions. On top of that, they even fixed the visual bug with Wraith's magazine dragging along the floor, so she can once again make full use of her modified Tommy gun, the Rake. And Kelvin's been told to cool off, as Frozen Shelter will no longer allow you to create a bubble of safety to run down the clock whilst depositing the urn. So, as Kelvin reads through the patch notes, let's kick off tonight's episode of Soul Urn Notice. As always, I'm your urn host, Jacky. Myself and Daisy are on deck once again to give you the quick breakdown of the latest batch of changes in tonight's hotfix. Right out the gate then, let's see what's been tweaked regarding trooper parries. If you didn't know, it's always been possible to parry melee hits from candle troopers themselves. This was easily used to catch unaware players off guard if you parried a trooper to get the parry CD reset in lane, so you could bait out a melee from a player expecting you to not be able to block the incoming damage and then pummel them into the ground with your fists of fury. After tonight's update, this has been changed. You'll no longer get a reset on your parry cooldown if you successfully parry a melee from a candle trooper. Instead, it'll parry the trooper but won't refresh your CD. It'll allow the parry to play out for its full duration though without interrupting it or refunding the cooldown. So troopers can't accidentally burn your parry, but it won't grant you a free reset anymore. Although you will now briefly stun the trooper whilst parrying their melee. Additionally, as I mentioned in the intro, Kelvin will no longer be able to freely deploy a snow globe of safety to sit pretty and burn through the depositing timer when the urn's under his team's control. Instead, if Frozen Shelter contains the urn itself, it will now pause the deposit timer. This will remove a big portion of cheesy plays around the urn with Kelvin's kit, and makes the rule of thumb that it freezes any objectives within its radius true once again. Moving on to the Soul Urn specifically, let's start by talking about urn spawn timings. Valve have changed the initial spawn period from the 10-minute mark with subsequent respawns being every 5 minutes to instead now have the urn spawn in at 12 minutes with each preceding urn arriving every 6 minutes, giving you an extra chance to catch your breath between urn brawls. The rules regarding the urn dealing damage to a player during a delayed carry has also been adjusted. You'll now take damage as a delayed urn runner after a team has held the urn for a collective 30 seconds, down from 50 seconds pre-patch. But this timer will stop ticking upwards whilst there are enemies within at least a 40-meter radius of the urn runner, and the timer will increase directly by 2 seconds within the 30 seconds of held timer anytime it's picked up, even if it's instantly dropped to avoid elongated urn delay tactics. You're also no longer subjected to the 12 seconds of urn pickup lockout after reaching the previous 50-second held timer limit. The overall checks for the urn deciding to run back to its spawn point have also been adjusted. The Soul Urn will now stay in place on the ground as long as there is an enemy within a 40-meter radius of the urn. It checks enemies based on the last person to have dropped or fumbled the urn. If there's no enemies within this radius, it will default to a 13-second waiting period before running home, as long as there's a friendly hero within a 40-meter radius. Additionally, if the urn held timer has elapsed past the 45-second mark, not factoring in the time the initial urn counter is frozen whilst enemies are nearby, the next time the urn has been dropped, it will instantly run back home, as long as there's no enemies within a 40-meter radius when it hits the ground. So delay tactics overall won't be anywhere near as easily abusable to cheese. Mechanical wise, the urn's comeback bonus of 35% resistance to bullet and spirit damage has once again been tweaked. Mainly this time to combat the idea of using the comeback urn resistance bonuses as effectively a war banner of buffs. This was possible via delayed carrying of the urn to benefit from the defensive increases. This strategy has been massively nerfed here. You'll now no longer be granted the resistance bonuses whilst carrying the urn, or whilst it's dropped. Instead, it'll only be active during the deposit phase itself. In the same vein though, the comeback urn runner themselves will exclusively be granted a plus 35% resistance bonus during the initial run of the urn. Additionally, they also fixed the trailing team's urn runner extra spirit bonus not working correctly as well. Effectively, it seems like Valve continues to monitor how players are interacting with the new soul urn system, and making adjustments accordingly to iron out things they don't think suits the side objective, and to try and encourage the more positive elements of the rework to the objective itself. Let us know your thoughts on this third batch of urn changes in the comments though, as it looks like Valve is still cooking with this one. Don't forget to subscribe to Dead Air, it's free and will keep you in the know anytime we upload. Lastly, big ups to our incredible YouTube members. You make it so Daisy and I can bring you the content you love full time, and this would not be possible without your continued support. So consider becoming a member today and get your name featured in the end credits of future episodes of Patch Notice. With that said though, thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow when the urn becomes a kart racing minigame. Bye bye for now.